Hey everyone, Wanderbot here, and welcome to the Abyssus demo. It is a first-person shooter roguelite with, I'm gonna say, kind of diver punk. It's like undersea wreckage and old school diving bell aesthetic. It's really neat. I played the demo for this a little while ago, didn't get around to doing a video, but Double Moose and Arcade Crew were kind enough to reach out and sponsor this video, so I figured I'd finally dive in, give it a shot, and see how it goes. I did remember enjoying it. It's got some really interesting ability combos. And also multiplayer, but we're not going to be featuring that today. So we got a rifle, we've got a journal. No longer resisted, it beckons me with his promise of power, of true ascension. He who waits past my waking hours needs to wait no longer. So might as well mention, also as part of this, I don't know if there's anything in these, but if you do want to pick up and play the demo yourselves, just follow the link in the description below. It is currently the first zone, but the first zone's pretty beefy, has a decent amount of enemies, and actually does let you get kind of deep into your build crafting. Doesn't look like there's anything else in there. As well as, I believe it has partial meta progression. I see. I'm just too close. Yeah, we've got a really slick dash, too. If I can pull it off. Okay, so what's this one? Shifted dash in the air. Yeah, there we go. Engine rifle. 2 firing modes, automatic, secondary stronger, can overheat. Frag grenade is starting ability, I think that's a Q, and then we also have a wrench. Let's see, primary fire. Secondary fire. Grenade. And, oh, it's F for melee. Fair enough. What is E then? Maybe it's a secondary ability, not sure. Okay, destroy all golems, so enemies have pretty clear weak points here. I think the grenade is very much on a standard cooldown. There we go. Yeah, so I can just kind of use it constantly. Okay, there it is. I was trying to figure out where it was in the UI. I don't know if my gun has one of those where I can overheat it and use that as bonus damage into something else, but Blessing Altar. Choose a blessing. So blessings are given by 10 different aspects, such as frost or wind. Can be attached to weapons, primary or secondary, as well as your equipped active abilities. So you get fire. So primary attack does 15% extra damage and has a chance to set the enemies on fire, or secondary flares for the secondary shot. I'm just gonna put on the primary shot for the time being. Oh, there's a man dude in here wearing a weird horrible thing. Actually, it's not really a man dude anymore. It's kind of a weird zombie encased in a jade thing. Question mark. Anything to do? I can also heal, but why? Are you gonna force me? Fair enough. Maybe the syringe comes back over time. Some games have it that it's based on kills, though I think in this case it's almost assuredly based on finding a thing that recharges it. Okay. Choosing more blessings to the same aspect provides blessings that empower the aspect's mechanic. Also adds a passive boost that increases for each blessing from that aspect. Alright, so if I pick fire again, we get when an enemy flares, 0.2 seconds are added to the flare's duration, or enemies take more flare damage every time they flare. Let's go with enduring flares. I don't really know which is better. Okay, you can only have one charm equipped. Gun meets phase, common charm, 25% more damage to enemies that are close to you. So I picked that up, and I can... Perfect. Alright, so do we have anything else up here? I don't know if I need to bother with breaking pots and stuff. Some games really push you towards it, some do not. Okay, good. The chat window went away. Yeah, the reason why I didn't end up covering the demo the first time around was because I actually wanted to play this in multiplayer. There aren't a whole lot of roguelike first-person shooters, and there definitely aren't a whole lot of multiplayer ones. And so, on a personal level, I don't want to say like I'm starving for them, but there's some level of aspect of like, I really desperately want this genre to expand. I love first-person shooters, but I hate competitive shooters. And I love roguelikes, and so actually having roguelike first-person shooters is exciting for me. Fire can now stack, increasing fire damage over time. Flaring further increases fire stacks by 1. I might have missed the tutorial for what flaring does exactly, but that's okay. It's probably just when things proc. It seems the locals use these strange gateways to traverse the depths. Though this technology is beyond our understanding, the gateway up ahead leads somewhere safe enough for us to set up camp. I'm getting kind of like a clear Aztec-y Mayan influence from a lot of this stuff. I'm hoping it's kind of Atlantean, though I guess Atlantis is usually tied more to Greek. Maybe Greek? Not always Greek. It's often indigenous native, like North American for some reason. That's actually interesting. I'd love to look into the breakdown of, like, Atlantis and how many different... Oh, this is actually kind of Deep Rock Galactic. Everybody has their own little space. I'm going to bring up at least a couple of comparisons to the Disney's Atlantis, just because I love that movie. And some amount of this camp and everybody having their, like, tents set up, but also the fact that they have, like, wooden cupboards and dressers and furniture. Where's the beds? Did they just sleep on the carpet? They might. Okay, I'm just gonna jump ahead. There's some places to explore here, but there's, like, this, which is just all of the achievements and different things I can collect. It looks nice. I love the fact that they're trying to, like, jam these things in and around. Okay, this looks like something that I can interact with, but not yet. But jam this around kind of the old, more ancient ruins. I don't actually know enough about indigenous cultures, or even... I'm gonna say kind of Aztec-y Mayan is what I'm getting from this, but maybe not. There isn't much else to see in the camp. I can change my character's aesthetic. If I wanted to, I can also swap out my weapons, but we don't have any unlocked. So you can have, like, an engine rifle, shotgun, Tesla gun, disc thrower, plasma launcher, combat bow, brine revolver, and fish deity, but don't have access to any of those things yet. Let's go in here. I love this. I have no idea if this is OG or, like, part of the runes, or if this was crafted specifically for this. This thing here, though, Matson and Sons. I love this, actually. Okay, this is going to be kind of a tangent here, but I'm going to commit to it just because this game is doing the thing that I like, somewhat. I'm a huge sucker for aesthetics. I'm an artist. Of course I'm going to care about aesthetics when it comes to a video game. If every video game was just like a modern military shooter, I don't think I'd play them. And so having a game... actually, this is a couple of topics kind of within, but having a game that, like, really leans into a more... I'm going to say, like, nautical, but also... also kind of indigenous, probably American, South American aesthetic is kind of neat. Especially mixing that with some, like, Brinepunk aesthetics. I think that's the actual term. I was calling it diver punk, but I think Brinepunk is better, sounds better, is probably what they're aiming for. And also, yeah, I mean, brine's just a fun word. How often do you say brine anymore? How many of you are salty sea dogs? Probably not many. Anywho, yeah, so I love the fact that this is a a cooperative first-person shooter roguelike. Part of the reason why I didn't cover this originally was because I saw that it had multiplayer, and I was thinking, yeah, I think I would actually legitimately enjoy this more if I brought some friends along and we played it as a group. And I still stand by that. There aren't a whole lot of roguelike first-person shooters. There aren't a whole lot that are co-op either. There's like a handful I can think of off the top of my head. And most of them, some of them are pretty good. Most of them are kind of rough. And the genre in general, I think, is underrepresented. I think it's because it's hard. You have to make not only a good first-person shooter, you have to make a good roguelike, and that's kind of tricky. Because a lot of games miss the mark when it comes to good roguelike design. It's legitimately difficult to make a good roguelike, weirdly enough. I know we have a gazillion of them, but let me tell you, we have 5 gazillions more bad ones. You can check my back catalog. I've covered a lot of them. Okay. Aspect of Fortune gives you the power to create a gold burst. Or generate a barrier. Gold. Okay. Secondary fire has a chance to create a 20% chance... Oh, 15% extra damage and 20% chance to gold burst. Or ability does extra damage and 100% chance to create a gold burst. Let's just do gold burst grenade. Now, unfortunately, I don't have any keys, so I can't get through there. I don't know what happens when I hop down. But yeah, so I originally was just like, I'll get around to this at some point when I can get a group together or when it comes out. But obviously, you know, this is a good opportunity for me to dive in. It's not like it's one of those where I'm like turning up my nose and being like, oh, it's another first-person shooter roguelike. I won't cover those. I love this genre. Day 22. Could just be me, but the sculptures look more weathered than the golems we're fighting. Older, perhaps. Shame that we're the only ones around to admire them. Well, unless those golems have an eye for art. I love the artistry on this. Like, just the effort put into these textures. I think the only immediate problem with it is right now it's all like underwater sea caverns and stuff. I legitimately hope that the deeper you go down, the less ruined the ruins become. Because I think that would be a really neat... I think that would be a really neat choice aesthetic. There's another game I played a long time ago whose name I can't even remember, but it had this like really beautiful, just like gilded, I don't know if I want to call it like Rococo aesthetic or something like that. I think it was it called Echo? Might have been. Has nothing to do with this, but it was like a very hard commitment to an aesthetic. And I legitimately really hope they do the exact same thing here, because I think this has the opportunity to get really impressive on a visual level the deeper you go. And I think that would be kind of a cool choice. Where, yeah, it starts all ruined and cavernous, but the deeper you go, the more, like, elaborate the environments become. Fingers crossed. Anyway, I guess kind of within that vein is, beyond just loving first-person shooter roguelikes. And what is that thing? Oh, it's like a spinny top boy. Okay, we actually need to worry about that. Because I bet this sucker does contact damage, and I don't want to deal with that. Luckily, we blew him the heck up. Ah, missed. Okay, well, missed, but didn't matter. Okay. Commitment to aesthetic and some other things. So when we were taking that diving bell down, there was that Matson and Sons thing. And this is going to sound really funky, but I miss the 1920s. And I'd say 1890 to 1920s. Or even maybe like 1800s to 1920s, 1930s. Health pickups no longer restore health. Give 50% of the healing in gold instead. Sure, that's probably a bad idea, but whatever. How long is this run going to be anyway? The thing is, I'm only allowed to go to the first zone in the demo, or only the first zone is available in the demo at the moment. Allowed. Makes it sound like I'm being artificially limited here. That's not the case. Okay, gotta make sure there's nothing shooting behind me, but no, that's the pillar charging up. Nothing I need to worry about. But with the whole, like, Matson and Sons, ow. With the Matson and Sons, like, just that thing there, plus the whole camp going on. It has that kind of, like, turn of the 20th century aesthetic that, even though, yeah, obviously I'm not old enough to have been, like, alive during that period of time, I do legitimately miss that aesthetic, and I wish things went back to it at some point. That over the last 100 years or so, ooh, more gold burst. I do actually like the idea of aspect of blood, but let's keep going for gold burst. Extra gold if you take no damage during an encounter. Less damage per 100 gold you have. Ooh. Both of these are good. I'm going to go for untouched gold, see if I can stack that. Because I only have 98 gold in the moment, and that's a 2% damage reduction. Not really that great. But, at least in the US, over the last 100 years, stylistically we've been stuck with a architectural style called brutalism, which is big, boring concrete buildings. Maybe a lot of windows, maybe not. And... okay, took damage from something. Not sure what. I just need to make sure this thing ain't there. There we go. Do I have 3 grenades? Oh, I have 3 grenades. I really don't have to wait on those. Oh, he's got a weak point on his back. Good. That makes this easier. He's also just vulnerable to explosions. Okay. But yeah, stylistically, I'd say almost all of humanity has been specifically like shackled to brutalism. It's because it's easy and it fits a lot of, I'd say, corporate owners' aesthetic choices, which is who cares about art, make money, you know, cover everything in gold if it needs to be fancy. That's it. It's an extremely boring art style that a handful of artists back in the day pioneered, effectively foisted upon us. I don't know if I'd specifically call it pioneered if it's kind of an anti-style. And as a result, I find myself kind of exhausted going out and around and exploring in a lot of cases because it's just concrete buildings forever. And so I think there's kind of an allure to going to, like, European cities, for example. What the hell is happening here? Oh, destroy all 3 pylons. I was like, why do we have so many enemies? Because I didn't see any of the, like, charge pillars. I think I was looking at this thing earlier and I just didn't do anything with it. Oh, there we go. At least none of these are the snipies. Unfortunately, my aim with the grenades, not great. There's a secondary one that lets me do... There we go. There's a secondary one that lets me do... like turrets, and I want that. Real bad. Oh, that's a lobber. 2 can play at that game. I have many grenades, and they come back constantly. There they go. I just want to stay away from the snipers, because they might be somewhat hit scan, and I don't want to mess with that. I love how overt the weak points on these boys are. Huh, that actually stops its shot in the tracks. Neat. And so yeah, there's a very real allure to traveling, especially to, like, European countries if you're, like, an American. Because, hey, the cities actually don't just look like concrete hell. And so there's always kind of that feeling of, like, I don't know, I want to say sadness when I go from, like, one American city to the next, because the concrete hasn't been maintained well and things are looking kind of crumbly at this point. No one really feels like fixing it up apart from just tearing it down, making a new one. And so, like, there is still that sense of history there, but you look at it 90% of the time, it's just another concrete building. Just some are taller than others, and maybe one has, like, a pointed top. Not the most exciting. I'd stand still, but I really need to not. Oh, got me. 20 damage, too. Ouch. Is what it is. And so, with that Matson and Sons thing, it just instantly made me start, like, pining after that aesthetic. Though, frankly, I'd be just as happy as if we suddenly went full, like... Well, I mean, obviously it would be cultural appropriation. But, like, it would be cool if we had stuff that looked like this, too. I question this giant disc thing. That actually feels like something I should be able to yeet an enemy into and they get crushed. I don't want to touch it, though. Even if it, like, does do damage, I don't want to be the one to find that out. I got rid of healing in favor of more money. And that's probably bad. What do you have around here? Nice view. I really dig this aesthetic. Yeah, I hope this gets fancier as we go down. And oh, you're a boss. Okay. Unfortunately, I don't really have any fancy abilities. Have I only gotten 2 boosts at the moment? I think so. And just the bonus gold and the gold burst on a grenade. Which I still don't actually know what gold burst does. I think it popped up for a hot second and then I just... kind of missed it. At least the boss is not fast enough that they are, some bosses kind of can ignore you if you're circle strafing. Does look like he's summoning more snipers. But like, imagine if this guy had just enough turning that that laser was locked on you all the time, so you actually had to hide behind the pillars. I think that'd still be doable, but it'd be tricky, avoiding everything else. Actually, that's not one of the snipey boys, so I can kind of ignore them. Yeah, the problem is, I can't move towards him. I pretty much have to just be holding the A button this entire time. Also, huge props. Boss is very easy to aim for that weak point, which I dig. Get a soul fragment, and maybe other things. Rune of Vitality, extra max HP. Didn't heal me, gave me gold. Projectiles pierce enemies, do more damage for every pierce. Yeah, I think we're going to get rid of this one at this point. As I'm actually going to need the gold. Or I'm going to need the health. Not the gold. Unless the run ends, at which point I guess we're just going again. What is this thing? Some of these alcoves seem special. Nope, it's just lit. Now let's see if that was a mid-boss or an actual boss. It's giving me an ability, so if we're lucky we can keep going. I'd like to do Aspect of Tentacles. Let's do it. Primary fire, extra damage, and summons a tentacle. The gold burst is interesting and I do want to spec around it, but still. Okay. Oh, so that was just a mid-boss. We have a little bit more. Cool. Yeah, I know this is just kind of a taste of what is yet to come for this game. That is very pretty. But I was afraid that it was only going to be 15 minutes long. 30 minutes is kind of my, like, low-end sweet spot, though I'm usually more of like a demo should be an hour long, because that lets me really sink my teeth into it. But I guess it also depends on the game. For games with a more of an action component, I think I can accept shorter durations, because the... Oof. Okay, that hurt. There's a big stompy there, on top of everything else. Oh. Yeah, let's get behind him and do some extra damage. We're good. Oh, time left in area, reward chest. Time trial. Did I get it? Unless it means the whole region. At which point this is going to be a problem, because I don't think I can get this done that fast. Okay. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get him. That's okay. I should probably stick to my primary fire. Oh, that thing's a summoner. Rude. I don't think we have any more. Let's just slap him up. There we go. Split shot unlocked. Yeah. So I think the time trial is for the whole dang region. I don't think I'm going to be able to complete that. At least the timer doesn't progress. Yeah, this is the last room. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'm fast enough. Main thing is to get these guys to blow up. Because they're... I don't want to say the trickiest. But they're definitely more time-consuming. Oh, you summoning more. Rude. Yeah, failed it. I didn't know we had a time trial, but I don't know if I was going to be able to complete it with my current lineup. It's okay, we still get a treasure chest, and also it doesn't matter, not a long run. Sealed shut. But we do get one of these. Please be tentacles. You are not. Freeze enemies or set things on fire. Set things on fire. Secondary does more damage, set things on fire. I don't know what kind of interplay between the different boons that we have. Also, this might just be immediate boss fight? We will see. But yeah, with an action game, you can at least sink your teeth into the actual mechanics. Hello, it's a dude. Oh, it is a dude, actually. I missed the face initially. Oop. Ow. Okay, I think it's the lower... Oh, boy. Yeah, it's the lower crystal I have to aim for. Unfortunately, this is one problem I do have with a number of first-person shooter roguelikes. And I'd say first-person shooters in general, where you actually have to worry about where you're standing, is ground AoEs are extremely difficult to spot without certain... Without certain, sorry, brains elsewhere, things are going on. Without certain fields of view, and this assuredly does not have that. I think it's fine, I just gotta be careful. I'm gonna keep working on that. There's one. Set those on fire. Alright, that looks like that was the last of them. I'm gonna mostly keep to... Oh, phase 2. Okay, so he's a little faster. Oh, we're playing... The floor is lava. Okay, it seems like that doesn't hurt me if I play hopscotch over the ground. Which I'm actually very happy about. There we go. Purely from the perspective of, like, I don't know. Just avoid that for a second. I think we're comfy. Nope, we're not. Okay, at least this is a much bigger spot to hang out and fight. Round 2. Can I get another healing flask here? Probably not. Okay, that took out one. I see. So it's actually much easier to complete than I thought. You just have to take out... Oh, that's a new one. Yeah, much easier to complete than I thought. Just take out one, and he comes back down. Okay, whoop. Okay, that doesn't lock me in. It's not looking too bad yet. Just take him out. He's doing a big slam, and he's done. Alright, we get another soul fragment. I don't know what to spend those on. But there are more secrets to be found. Continue playing? Cool. Let's, unfortunately, none of this carries over. I do appreciate that you can push the bits around. So, reduce dash cooldown by half. Increase movement speed by 15%. Yo! That's insanely good. What else do we have? What is this thing? Blood God's Altar. Fully restores health and syringes. So I guess... Oh, there's the turret. Yes. Okay, anything else? No. Don't look like it. So we have split shot. We've got a couple of things to work with. So, big game hunter, get a soul fragment. We get split shot, another soul fragment, and turret. Cool. Go back to the lobby. What do we use soul fragments on? Hopefully the game tutorializes this. Oh, it's the wheel. I was looking at this earlier. I was like, well, ain't this. I mean, we could try split shot. I mean, yeah, I might as well. No reason not to. I also have a bunch of gold for some reason. I guess it carries over. So we can increase the number of syringe charges by 1. Very good. Reroll the available categories of Blessing Altars. Also good. Reroll options and merchant for gold. Increases damage. No, boring. Probably this one. Because I like rerolls. We have one more. I'm just going to go for blessing rerolls. Interesting. Why is that expanding out? I guess 5 points clears a ring and lets me get up to the next tier. Healing shrine can be found in the temples. Start with a key in gold. That's good. Forge that upgrades your weapon or ability. Yes. Those are important. Otherwise, your run just ends up feeling kind of homogenous. Like, the boons are nice, but so far most of the boons are just like 15% extra damage and a chance of something happening, which is, it's good. Like, that's very fine in surface level, but I want things to get crazier. Like, imagine if the fire eventually starts spreading fire on the ground surfaces and enemies. So, like, you hit an enemy with it, they catch on fire, and they can potentially bump into and set something else on fire. For example. Looks like the meta progression is pretty beefy, too. Put a bunch of points in this, and you get, what is that, 200 extra health? Weak point damage. Some of them are a little bit more basic, like the reload speed. Oh. Abandoned Temple, Gardens. And, okay, it's not mentioning any other locations. Still, looks like there's a lot of mechanics yet to be unlocked. Okay, I actually really dig that. Let's go back down again. Back to brutalism, I guess, since we are here, and I'm looking at the Matson and Sons again. Sorry, I know this is a weird fixation, but it is one of those where, oh, that was a thing. Oh, shoot. That was a thing. I saw it and I thought, oh, maybe, wait. Okay, there's a journal here. To me, untrained eye, it looks like a light bulb, though it seemingly requires neither electricity nor fuel. Looks to be made out of a large chunk of amber, so perhaps there's a forest all the way down here. Not that I've seen a single tree yet. Now, like I said, I hope the deeper we go, the, like, more weird and complete and possibly alien this gets, because I think that would be sick. Okay, so big thing is, I can bop a turret down. Okay, that secondary fire is very fun. Not very good for hitting weak points, but it shred. And that seems reasonably good here. But yeah, one of the main reasons why brutalism caught on, beyond just the fact that, you know, the powers that be don't care for art at all, is because brutalism is extremely easy to manufacture, or at least kind of the facsimile of brutalism that we're kind of stuck with. Because, like, actually, some of the fathers of brutalism very much did actually make beautiful structures because they were leaning harder on geometry and whatnot. Whereas now it's just rectangles. Maybe some triangles, nothing more. But it's an aesthetic style that's extremely easy to mimic. Piercing. I'll take that. That's extremely useful for groups. And so a lot of people leaned into it because why not, right? Saves you a ton of money, easy to do, easy to reproduce, and a lot of the stuff can just be like barfed out in a factory, whereas if you want to go further back to like more ornate styles, you needed to handcraft all that stuff. I haven't tried Aspect of Blood, so let's give this a shot. Secondary fire has a chance to cause hemorrhage. Cool. I was really hoping those rerolls would be on a per shrine basis, but it seems like it's a per run basis. I don't know. I'm a huge sucker for letting people really go nuts with build customization. Okay, nope, we've already seen that one. Kind of wish journals would be added to like a compendium you can access at any point. Would be handy. Okay, I am very much in favor of split shot. Obviously, we've overheated. But it is effective. That makes such short work of everything. But yeah, so if you want to have like crazy sculptures or crenellations or shoot, I'm not very good at describing architecture. I was actually interested in becoming an architect when I was younger. Oh, that's my turret. It's not a grenade. I'm actually not sure if I like the turret. I will have to see. It feels a little bit on the light side, but maybe once you get the ability to upgrade it, it gets nutty good. Probably. Okay. Factories. Yeah. So if you want to mess around with, like really fancy architecture or anything like that, yeah, you very much have to lean into handcrafted things. You can't just barf that out in a factory. You actually have to have like sculptors and specialists and whatnot. And unfortunately, that costs a lot of money and time, and people don't want to dedicate those resources anymore. And it's kind of a downer because it means like our cities and businesses are kind of boring in comparison. It's a coffee shop my wife and I go to fairly often, and they randomly have a bunch of like Art Nouveau / Art Deco prints going on right now, that are like available for sale. And some part of me is just looking at it and it's like, I mean, I think two-dimensional art has never been better, at least human-made stuff. But there's something about that aesthetic style when applied to a... Uh-oh. That's concerning. Okay. Good. Some part of it was hittable. I think I'm gonna go back to the grenade. Do we want to do spirit? Nah. Wind burst. Okay, I'm gonna try this. On the primary fire. I was really hoping to lean in on singular... Oh, that did drop gold. Dang. I don't like breaking pots for money, because it's a distraction. That's one consistent issue. Like, it's fun breaking pots for money in, say, like a Zelda game. It's trickier when it comes to, like, a roguelike. Or really any game where it's kind of vague. Fish. Ow, that actually hurt me. Okay, don't do that. Despite the fact that my character is going around in a diving suit, water hurts them. Okay, let's get the turret down. Okay. Didn't actually get hit. Lucky me. Are the wind bursts like a homing attack? It's hard to tell. Either that or it was my turret plinking at things. Oh, this is the way I came through. Sorry. I'm used to entering these rooms from one direction, and it's weird to actually be going back the opposite direction. But yeah, breaking pots is a distraction and slows the rundown. Maybe you might get a little bit of gold and it's kind of necessary, but some part of it feels like it unnecessarily slows things down. Okay, before I go for these charge the pylons, I need to kill this guy before he keeps just summoning things on my head. Okay, is my turret? Nope, turret's still on cooldown. Don't know where it is, though. And the wind bursts actually seem good. I've yet to figure out exactly what they do. We've got another one on this side? Yeah. That seems like the turret is shooting things, so maybe it's fine. Ooh, that hurt. Okay, I think it's just these guys left. Yeah, so my turret doesn't last the whole time. And that's okay. But yeah, now I'm compelled to shoot every single pot. And like, some of them have gold, some don't. It seems like the more gilded pots do, but I don't want to spend all of my time searching them. This seems like it goes somewhere, actually. Yeah, because they said there are more secrets to find. The main thing is I just want to play around with the guns and the abilities. I don't think I'm going to be thinking like super duper hard about finding weird secrets. And part of it is because no clue if the progress is carried over. Like, I'm a huge sucker when developers say like, yeah, your demo progress carries over to the next run, or not next run, into the full version. I don't like that for plot-based games, but for roguelikes, it's amazing. You know, at least let me keep my meta currency. Oh, it's just the boss again. That's funny. I mean, why not? Why not reuse? Okay, I'm just gonna leave him with a present. Ow, that hurt? That might have actually been one of the other guys. Yeah, something hit me for a lot. Might have been one of the little guys. And I still do have my heal if I... Oh, it is the little guy. Unlike the last time, probably because I'm staying in the inner ring. I was actually allowing them to be close to me. Which is not good, actually. It was this one. Using an ability increases rate of fire? No. My cooldown is just way too low. Not worth it. Let's see. What was I gonna say? I don't know, aesthetics, other things. It doesn't really matter. I just wish things were more aesthetically minded. Power of tentacles. Wait. What do we even have that would do that? Honestly, nothing. Let's go for this. Ability does extra damage and fills the spirit charge. Increases damage dealt to enemies with low health. Hello. Shotgun. Fallen half a dozen times now, I have. Oh, fallen half a dozen times now, I have. Just like me foes. Unnatural is what it is. Really seems to get to some of us, this place. It's only gotten worse now that more of the lads started using that power. One of them kept repeating that he had to reach the source of the surge, and went ahead without us. Poor bugger never returned, and part of me hopes he never found what he was looking for. Just a gut feeling. I need to make a pirate Wanderbot. Okay, I really wish, actually, if you found the shotgun, you could immediately swap for it, because I kind of want to use the shotgun now. Oh, well. I mean, we only have, like, one region left. We'll do one shotgun run. I think I'll switch back to the grenade unless I get a different secondary fire. The problem with the turret I mostly find is I wish I could just plunk it down. This is going to kind of sound weird, but I almost feel like the turret should kind of operate under different logic. Then say, is that, okay, no, that's quite dead. Operate under different logic than, say, the grenade, where you have a cooldown and you just put it down. I feel like the turret should just be something that is ever present, and your cooldown is just moving it. So instead of, like, it being not present sometimes, it just, it will just, like, be wherever you place it the first time, and then maybe 15 seconds later you can move it to a different part of the room. Yeah, take the damage down a little bit, but just have it be this persistent thing that is always present, always there. And so you can kind of tactically work around its existence. But this is also coming from somebody who mainlined NG in, TF2. And so, like, I legitimately get a little freaked out when my turret's not there. Because then I have to erect another one, and that's a pain. And I also have to worry about, okay, who destroyed my turret? Because if my sentry turret is down, that means somebody around killed it. And that's not good, right? It is weird how that lasts. Like, I never really got into TF2. I played a bunch of it, but it wasn't, like, my thing. It was just the thing my friends and I played. My friends, I guess it was kind of me and the other frat members, would just, like, get together in a large group. Like, I think we could get 30, 40 people going, because it was a big frat and had a lot of, alumni that would just come back to play games with us. And so, yeah, when we were playing TF2, it was, like, the thing. Except for one guy who would just, like, start blasting random national anthems over mic, and we had to mute him. I don't know, just these memories stick with you. But unfortunately, as I've gotten older, I think as I've gotten further away from TF2, and, like, maybe some of the older Battlefields, like, I was real big into Battlefield 2 and 2142. 2142 was incredible. And, like, as I've moved away from that game, and, you know, just no one plays it anymore. Technically, I think there's a private server you can get access to, but that's it. I really want to shoot this guy in the butt, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I'm really curious about what those wind bursts are doing. Ow. Okay, I think he's dead. Something else hit me, which is not great. Okay, aim for the button. Go from here. Let's see, more aspect of blood? Yeah, I think so. Does extra damage to elites and bosses, or more damage the closer you are to enemies? No. Considering pretty much the next thing we're encountering is the boss. Yeah, so it's these gilded pots. Those are the ones that give me the money. Regular pots do not. Is this just going to be the boss fight? I think it is just the boss fight at this point, so I should probably preemptively heal. There's another locked door. Is it the same boss? Same boss. It's a good boss. Multi-phase boss fight. Couple of patterns. Escalates well. Ow. That was deserved. I just gotta watch out for when he decides to stomp. Okay. I guess part of it is it's a really obvious pattern. Because he does that, then he do stomp. And then I can get back up close and personal. He does another wave. And he dosed. Get that. Still don't quite know what Windburst does. But that's okay. He down. He gets some gooners. Saw his shadow coming in. Okay, so he's doing that. Okay, now he do that? Oh boy. There we go. Get another. I'm so glad we have a double jump for some reason. Okay, he's doing mortars. Okay, did we get him down? We did. Shred that into Kingdom Come, leave nothing left. Alright, good time to syringe. I don't actually know how much the syringe heals for. Ow. That actually got me. It's fine. There we go. And it seems like that secondary fight. Ow! I forgot about that. There you go. Don't want to be close to him again, but it's fine. Yeah, I got this guy down to pseudoscience. Okay, he's gonna do that. Then he do that. Then he's not doing a double dash. And now he's dead. Yeah, the freaking split fire. I thought the like super gun was going to do a ton of damage to him. I was wrong. The split fire is even more effective. Eh. Breaks after taking damage. No way I'm keeping that. I am not that put together. And sadly, nothing else here. Journal. Not far into our last expedition, Tristan burst into flames after touching one of them brine green cubes.
Yet the flames did not bite him. Nay, they seemed to follow his every whim. But that couldn't save him. Not Dylan either, for that matter. Frankly, I barely made it out myself. Came back to camp crestfallen and bruised. Couldn't believe my eyes when I found Tristan fast asleep in his tent with nary a scratch. I was a bit sad. I was hoping to toast some marshmallows on his face. Alright, so we got a shotgun, and that's everything. Well, that's fine. Go back out to lobby. Let's do one more. One more run. I want to try the shotgun. I want to see where that goes. Okay. Damage of equipped ability by 4%. The problem is, like, 3 and 4% is such a nothing. Like, I'll do it, but it's such a surface level upgrade. Not to say that, like, the developers need to do more than that. So we have buckshot, and yeah, we have nothing else. What are the other options here? Fully semi-automatic, fully automatic, super heavy slug. I love the fact that they do actually change the aesthetic too. Okay, we're going to switch back to the grenade. The turret maybe was better than I think it is, but I want to be able to just huck a bunch. Why is my shotgun just perpetually on fire out the side? I don't know. I will say, instead of the loading screen, I actually wish I just stayed on that elevator longer. It's the same thing, yeah. Like, as silly as it sounds, disguise the loading screens on the elevators. Let me look at some cool stuff as I'm going down, maybe. What the? Okay, got stuck for a hot second. Did not feel good. Okay. That alt fire is amazing. Get the weak point and they are toast. Cool. I love a good shotgun. I'm always very leery about shotguns in games because either they are incredible or they're unbelievably bad. And this is super good. Because that slug fire is extremely strong. Oh, interesting. So unlike the other gun, the slug fire is just uses ammo. Giant Slayer. Should probably look at what that does. Charm. More damage to bosses and elites. Well, probably keeping that. The thing is, like, the regular fights, they're there. But the elites are definitely the harder part. I feel like I'm getting more chests here. Okay, aspect of the night, power of shadows, or lightning. Definitely chains of lightning between your enemies. I think I'm going to throw it on the grenade. One thing I would love to see for these different elements and stuff, I know this is kind of anti-roguelike, but I actually really wish there was a way that you could lock into, like, two elements, maybe 3 tops, unless we get some, like, crazy synergies later going on. My main thing is, maybe part of this is I'm just feeling it from playing the demo more than the, yeah, we actually don't want to piss those things off. Because they're gonna just blow up in my face while I'm there. Easier to just dodge their attacks. Because I'll take out the ground guys, but the dudes in the air aren't a problem. Okay, chain lightning is insane. I don't know how many enemies it arcs between exactly, but it's not an inconsequential number. I wonder if that's actually required as part of the, get is it a Tesma? No, it's a plasma gun. Beans. That is upsettingly good. And by upsettingly good, I mean, like, I'm pretty happy with this. This is a very good combo. I was going to try and talk about shotguns, but I don't know. I mean, this one speaks for itself. So many games have weak shotguns, and it's so confusing, because they gotta have punch. If you don't have good punch, it's not a good shotgun. Why even include them at that point? It was a game that had a really good shotgun. Prey did. But go figure. That was his, like, only weapon. Everything else was kind of, like, weird and dorky. The pistol was kind of good. Halo had a very good shotgun. At least the first Halo. I don't actually know how the other Halos felt, because I didn't really use it. Okay, we could do tentacles. I'm gonna reroll. Do aspect of barrier. Sure. Primary fire fills the barrier gauge, so that reduces the damage I take. I guess that's kind of fine. What is this? Oh, it's the shopkeeper. Hello, you ghouly man. You're gonna reroll items. No, I just wanted to talk to the guy, so I could get an aspect of lightning, but I don't have enough money. This is tragic. Could get another syringe. Can I? Oh, yeah. Might not be an upper limit. I was hoping I'd have a little bit more cash than I do. I was hoping I could talk to this guy, but alas. Alright, whatever. But I really want to delve deep into aspect of lightning, and there's no guarantees we're going to get more lightning here. And that makes me a little bit sad, if only because, I don't know, I want to see what kind of lies at the end of each of the... what lies at the end of each of the paths? More or less? Okay, we have one more. No, we have two more. How was I not hitting with that? I have no idea. On the plus side, it seems reasonably... No, it's not easy. Wait, holy smokes, this chain lightning is insane. That hits so many things for so much damage. Come back. Come back, sir. Oop. There we go. Yeah, chain lightning grenades, extremely fun to play around with. Apparently. Yeah, so presumably the barrier... Oh. Got a disky boy that I want to kill. Oh, did I? No, it actually looks like I toasted it. I don't know if it was the chain lightning or what, but yeah, it went down in seconds. This run is very fun. This is just a reg? Yeah, this is a reg. Just plink that. Chain lightning just finishes them off. Whoop. Just finishes them off. It's so good. Unfortunately, I get the feeling this is probably going to get nerfed, but I sincerely hope it doesn't. It's very fun. Ooh, how's this gun gonna hold up against this sucker? The damage is amazing. I can clear the trash mobs kind of fast. Oops. Okay, cannot do that. Wish that was more accurate. Okay, so we can just hang out and hit this guy. Yeah, that barrier is really effective. And this gun in general is obscene. I'm like, I'm not even doing anything terribly fancy here. We're just slapping him. Some health. More damage to enemies within 10 meters of view. Actually, I think I'm still gonna stick to Giant Slayer. Just because. No, we're not. I don't need it. Gun meets face fits better. We get another one of these. Please be lightning. Yes. More damage it bounces. 5% chance to leave a static zone. Let's do more damage it bounces. The static zone is interesting, but kind of better in multiplayer, I think. Better in multiplayer, better on a longer run. Right now we're just going for absolute maximum impact. Interesting, the slugs have somewhat of an AoE to them. Okay. Where's the next one? Got one. That is obscenely effective. Ow. Not my favorite at the moment. Wait, did that hit him in the weak point? Oop. Didn't work. Whatever. Yeah, some of these are hitting him in the weak point. Also kind of wish you could go wrench spec, as silly as it is. So the barrier... Okay, barrier is actually insane. It gives you just temp health. Nope. Merchant prices being 25% cheaper for all players is actually extremely good. Problem is, I am all players. And we're not liable to see another merchant here. And so it kind of limits its effectiveness. Okay. That's a decent amount of beef. Unfortunately, the barrier decays. I kind of wish as long as you were in combat it wouldn't. Unless I took damage and just didn't notice it. Is possible. I love being able to just light one of those guys up. And not have to worry. Because normally they kind of present a bit of an existential threat to me. Ow, the one time my barrier was not up. Okay, let's see how much those syringe heals for. 140, give or take? That's pretty good, actually. Aspect of freeze? What can I even do with freeze? Secondary fire does freeze. Okay, I'll take it. I'd forgotten I hadn't upgraded my secondary fire. Do we have a key? No, we don't have a key. Okay, I have 2 syringes, and I'm pretty strong. I'm curious about how... Well, no. I know how I'm going to fight this guy. The thing is, his patterns are extremely overt. Because he does the wave. Okay, there we go. He does the jump, the blast. And now he do the leap. There we go. I adore the fact that this has a double jump baked into the game at the very start. First-person shooters don't need double jumps, but I think they're so much better for it. I'll admit, it's exactly this point that I want the grenade for. Being able to wipe out those mook mobs really quickly is extremely helpful. And God, his weak point is so easy to hit. There we go. There's one. There's two. We've got our barrier up again. It's really just that cooldown that's kind of tricky. I wish as long as you were firing, it would refresh the barrier duration, but that might actually end up being an upgrade. Oh. Yeah, the chain lightning just does such short work on those lads. Does it? It does repeat damage on him. That's so goofy. Oh no. Okay, this might hurt a bit. Luckily it doesn't do that too much. No, it doesn't. I was wondering if it would self-chain. But we don't really need it to. Like, I can get my barrier back. It's not really too much of a problem. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to... Well, I mean, this is a good stopping point anyway. But I was very much gonna say, I think I've got this down to so much of a science that I'm starting to... it's starting to become a bit rote. I actually do really like activate gun mode. I don't think it's better. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's satisfying, but gun meets face makes so much more sense for the shotgun. Even if it's not quite as memey. Anyway, I don't think we unlocked anything new, and that's okay. So, I'm going to bring us out, but I should mention once again that the Abyssus demo is available on Steam right now, so if you do want to pick it up and play it yourselves, just follow the link in the description below. And I should also say as part of that, I guess while you're on the Steam page, add Abyssus to your wishlist as well, as it helps the developers immensely, lets you know when the game's out, makes the game rank higher on both things like the Steam Next Fest and also just the Steam upcoming games list as well. It's a very good first-person shooter roguelike. I hope to see them go deeper with the overall like build crafting and ability systems. The first level of each element blessing is kind of ho-hum. Oh, maybe you are actually only limited to 3. Because, yeah, you probably can't get extra elements for, like, other elements for your abilities after you've picked up the first 3 initial ones. I think, really, it's going to be hard for me to pass too much judgment on any of the ability system until we get a little bit further. I think the one thing I wish is that instead of getting three elements, you were just cut down to 2. And your primary and secondary fire, no. No, they don't need to be linked. Maybe if that was like an option, like some kind of weird modifier you can unlock later on with meta progression of like, hey, your primary and secondary weapons are now just beholden to the same blessing, and maybe you can even do that with a third. Just so you could go like really deep on a tree, but maybe there just isn't enough upgrades out there for it to matter. Maybe. I don't know, I was loving that chain lightning so much that the idea of getting any other blessing was honestly a little insulting to me, even though barrier actually saved my pancakes like a lot and was very, very good, and I'm glad I picked that up for my primary fire. I just wanted more chain lightning, man. I am a simple-minded man. I get the ability to go Zeus, I go Zeus. It's just is what it is. And so I think it's fine. I think I think the current availability is actually entirely acceptable. I just need to get over myself and accept other elements into my heart other than sweet, sweet lightning, especially because some of them are quite good. What I'm hoping to see is that there are some nice duo and even trio boons that you can get later down the line. Like if you have 3 or 4 levels in each, you can get like a cool ability. Like if you have chain lightning and barrier past a certain point, you get the ability to have like, yeah, when your barrier breaks, it chain lightnings things nearby, and then it's entirely admissible for the barrier to break routinely, you know, just expire and not get refreshed constantly, because then it breaks and it just chain lightnings something or multiple things near you, regardless of whether or not an enemy broke it or not. Like, that would be really cool, and I hope this game has that, because I think the abilities were good. I think they were fun and interesting to play around with. I love the idea of the tentacles. I want flaming tentacles. I want chain lightning tentacles. I want tentacles that fire ghosts instead of rocks. Why not, right?
And so having some level of interplay between the abilities, I think, is going to be what makes the game sing. It is a very solid first-person shooter in terms of, like, I'd say kind of the arcadey level of first-person shooter. Is not going to be like the really intense cover shooters. You can definitely circle strafe. You can definitely, like, kite around enemies. But that isn't really a problem. But the shooting feels good. The guns feel good. The guns feel varied, too, and the fact that every gun has multiple different modules that you can play around with is extremely fun. And I can see that being a hoot in a group especially. And I also really liked the fact that there were multiple abilities that seemed to have kind of co-op effects too. The fact that there was the one charm that reduces the prices for everybody. Obviously, it would be kind of unfortunate to be the player to pick that one up, because like, hey man, I want to do some fun things today. But on the flip side, I wouldn't mind being the guy that just picks up the charm that gives everybody a 25% discount, because that's a huge power boost to the whole team, and I'm willing to make that sacrifice. I think the only thing I would love to see within that, and maybe it would be hard to do, is some kind of set bonuses for some of those charms, of like, hey, if you have this one specifically and you have the gold, gold blessing, there's some level of interplay there as well, just because there's a natural synergy, or at least like conceptual synergy between the two. And that way there's kind of a reason for somebody to be like, no, I want that charm, it actually fits my build better. You know, even if it was just like a +1 to one pre-existing blessing, like straight up, you know, many of the guns have like plus 15% damage plus an additional 30% chance to something else. If that charm specifically boosted that 30% chance up to a 45, but only for that one specific build. Obviously it does pigeonhole things a little bit, but that's such a natural synergy. I think that's it, is that if this can get synergies and like really, really nail that system, oh, it's going to be so good, because it's got a lot of fun abilities, and it seemed like, looking at some of the upgrades for them, they're going to be a lot of fun to play around with. I just want to see some like interplay and also some build crafting even within that. Especially once you start adding the extra like shrines that let you modify your guns and abilities as well. Maybe. Anyway, I guess with all that said, before I go too far, I do want to say a very quick thank you to Double Moose Games and Arcade Crew for reaching out and sponsoring this video. It's very kind of you, it was very fun, and I look forward to playing more when the game is out, probably with a group of friends. Once again, it seems like the kind of game that's going to be perfect with a group, I hope. Because it seems like they're going a little bit Deep Rock Galactic with this, and that, but with roguelike mechanics, obviously is a winning combo. And I want to see more. But I guess with all that said, if you like this video in any way, shape, or form, leave me a like, it helps more than you know. And if you want to see more rad new games every single day, then hit subscribe, because I got tons to check out and show off. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.